My boyfriend cheated, so I slept with his best friend. I'm Michelle, 25 years old, and until recently, I was in a long-term relationship with my now ex-boyfriend, Jack. Jack and I were together for a little over 2 years, and everything seemed to be going great. We had our ups and downs, but for the most part, we were happy. Jack worked out a lot and spent most of his free time at the gym. I wasn't super into working out, but I didn't mind because it was his hobby and he enjoyed it. That all changed about a month ago when Jack started acting weird. He became more secretive, always on his phone, and constantly making excuses not to spend time with me. I'm no Sherlock Holmes, but I had a gut feeling that something was up. So, one day, I decided to surprise Jack at the gym. He usually worked out in the evening, so I thought I'd show up and maybe join him for a workout or just watch. I was hoping that this would be a chance for us to reconnect and talk about whatever was going on with him. When I got to the gym, I saw him working out with a girl. At first, I thought maybe it was just a new workout buddy, but then I saw them. They were flirting, touching, and getting way too close for comfort. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I confronted Jack right then and there, and he tried to play it off as nothing. But after a bit more pressing, he finally admitted to cheating on me with this girl, who we'll call Jim Bimbo. I was devastated. The thought of him cheating on me had crossed my mind before, but I had always brushed it off as just insecurity. But now, it was all out in the open, and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to scream, cry, and punch him all at the same time. But instead, I just walked away. I spent a few days wallowing in self-pity and eating my feelings. My best friend, Lisa, tried to comfort me, and we spent a lot of time talking about what I should do next. She was so angry on my behalf and suggested that I find a way to get back at Jack. At first, I didn't want to stoop to his level, but then I thought, screw it, why not? And that's when I came up with the perfect plan. See, Jack had this best friend, Charles. They had been friends since high school and were pretty much inseparable. Charles was a good-looking guy, and I knew that he had always found me attractive. In fact, he had hit on me a few times before I started dating Jack. So I figured, what better way to get back at Jack than to seduce his best friend? I started by reaching out to Charles on social media. We chatted a bit, and I casually mentioned that Jack and I were going through a rough patch. Charles was sympathetic and offered to be there for me if I needed someone to talk to. I knew I had him hooked. Over the next couple of weeks, I started hanging out with Charles more and more. We would meet up at bars or a concert and just spend time talking and having fun. I could tell that he was into me, and I have to admit, the attention felt good. It was like a balm for my wounded ego. The toughest part was trying to keep this a secret from Jack. The guilt was overwhelming at times, but Charles kept the lid on everything under the guise that he was helping me deal with Jack's cheating by getting out and just having some harmless fun, though I have a feeling he knew where this was going as well. One night, after a few too many drinks, I made my move. We went back to Charles's apartment and started watching some cheesy rom-com when I snuggled up to him on the couch. He looked surprised but didn't pull away. Instead, he put his arm around me, and we sat there like that for a while. When the movie ended, I turned to face Charles and looked him right in the eye. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, but I was determined to go through with it. I leaned in and kissed him. At first, he seemed hesitant, but after a moment, he kissed me back, and things quickly escalated from there. I won't go into all the juicy details, but let's just say that sleeping with Charles was every bit as satisfying as I'd hoped it would be. I felt empowered, like I'd taken back control of my life and shown Jack that I wasn't someone he could just walk all over. The next morning, I woke up with a mix of emotions. I was proud of myself for going through with my plan, but I also felt a little guilty for using Charles like that. He was a genuinely nice guy, and I knew that he probably had feelings for me. But I couldn't worry about that right now. I had to focus on the final step of my plan, dumping Jack. I went home and confronted Jack, telling him everything that had happened between Charles and me. The look on his face when I told him was priceless. He was shocked, hurt, and angry all at once. He tried to make excuses and blame me for pushing him away, but I didn't let him off the hook. I told him that he had no one to blame but himself and that I deserved better. Jack tried to apologize and begged me to give him another chance, but I was done. I broke up with him right then and there, and it felt incredible. I was finally free of the lying, cheating jerk who had broken my heart. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking that what I did was wrong, and maybe it was. But sometimes, revenge can be the sweetest medicine. And in the end, I came out of the situation stronger and more self-assured than ever before. As for Charles, we're still friends, and he's been incredibly understanding about the whole thing. He knows that what we did was a one-time thing, born out of anger and hurt, and he's been nothing but supportive, though his friendship with Jack is pretty much over, which was part of the point. However, for that, I do feel a little guilty. So, that's my story. My boyfriend cheated, so I slept with his best friend. It might not be the most mature way to handle things, but sometimes life just calls for a little drama. And hey, if nothing else, it makes for one hell of a story. How well do you think she handled this? Would you have done the same thing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.